Hello guys, welcome to the class for this week. This week we are going to be considering the future tense, conjugating the future tense as you can see on the screen. Before now, we have looked at our verbs in the present tense, and it is assumed, I believe that by now you can express yourself in simple French sentences in the present tense. I am going to eat, I will sing, I am a boy, and so on and so forth. But this week, we want to start looking at our sentences in the future tense. How do you express something that will happen? It has not happened. It is not happening. It is something that will happen. And that's why we're looking at the future tense. Now, in French language, there are three basic ways by which we express ourselves in the future tense. Now, one of the ways is to use the present tense with a future tense connotation. We use this a lot in the English language, and yes, we can also have that in the French language. When you use examples like I am going to Lagos tomorrow. Now, if you were to remove the word tomorrow from that sentence, it would be a present tense. That is, I am going to Lagos. Okay, that's present tense. But because you have added tomorrow, it gives it a future tense connotation. We'll come back to that and we'll look at that, how we express that in the French language. And the second way by which we express ourselves in the future tense is by using the main verb in a sentence and conjugating that main verb into the future tense. For instance, you say, I will be traveling. All right, I will be traveling. You have an auxiliary verb will be in front of the verb traveling that gives you the sense that, oh, this will be in the future tense. I will be traveling. I will eat. That's in the future tense. So that's using the main verb in the sentence in the future tense. Another way by which we express ourselves in the future tense is by using the verb to go with the main verb. For instance, you say, I am going to eat. I am going to sleep. It's in the future tense, but you are using two verbs. You are using the verb to go as well as the main verb, either to eat or to sleep or whatever other verb you are using with it. Now, we are starting with auxiliary verbs. For those of you who have been consistent in class, you will see that oftentimes I try to conjugate these auxiliary verbs for you first because their conjugations are basically different from others. So the same thing applies also here in the future tense. So we start with the verb être. That's the verb to be. From your screen, you can see how we conjugate être in the future tense. You have je serai, tu seras. The conjugation is completely different from what you have as the infinitive. So you have je serai, tu seras, il sera, elle sera, nous serons, vous serez, ils seront, elles seront. This is how we conjugate être in the present tense. Now, on the other side, you can see example of sentences, how we use this in sentences. Now, let me say this, that the way we use the future tense in English language is virtually the same way that we use it in the French language, barring some exceptions. But we are just going to stick with the rules today. So it's the same thing. Just use it the same way you are going to be using. Just that you want to look at the conjugation, how it is conjugated in English language and how it is conjugated in the French language. So, je serai, I will be. Now, look at this sentence. Je serai un docteur à l'avenir. That is, I will be a doctor in the future. I will be a doctor in the future. Now, if I was going to put this sentence and I was not going to write this in the present tense, I want to assume that you know how to do that. Let's see. I want to say I am a doctor. How do I say that? I'm going to be writing it as je suis docteur. Okay? Je suis docteur. So this sentence, je suis docteur, is in the present tense, while this, je serai un docteur à l'avenir, is in the future tense. Look at the difference in the spelling of suis. Both of them are from être. Okay? Suis, I am a doctor, and then serai, I will be a doctor. And that's the difference between the future and the present tense. Next sentence says, il sera mon ami. In this case, we are using the version of il, that is, he will be. Il sera mon mari la semaine prochaine. He will be my husband next week. Look at the spelling, il sera. If this were to be present tense, that sera would have changed to what? Il est. Il est. Il est mon mari. Il est mon mari. That would be the present tense. But in this case, it is not the present tense, it is the future tense. So, Il est, est, is the present tense of être, to be, and then sera is the future tense of être, to be. That is using il. Now, third sentence, you have elle sera chez les parents demain. The same explanation I've given for the first two sentences applies here. Elle sera, she will be at our relations place tomorrow. Now, let's go to the next verb. Our next verb is avoir, the verb to have. The verb to have. In the present tense, this would have been conjugated as j'ai, tu as. You have it in your notes. Please check and cross-check how we conjugated avoir in present tense. But for this in the future tense, we are conjugating it as j'aurai, tu auras, il aura, elle aura, nous aurons, vous aurez, ils auront, and elles auront. And that is how we conjugate the future tense for avoir. So you want to say, I will have a car. Okay, let's say you want to write that. I will have a car. That's not part of the sentences you have on the screen. Let me just add. It will become what? J'aurai une voiture. That is, I will have a car. J'aurai une voiture. Okay, but the present tense, if you are writing the present tense, you would have written it as j'ai une voiture. If you write j'ai une voiture, the difference is that this one, j'aurai une voiture, is in the future tense, I will have a car. The second sentence is in the present tense, which is I have a car. That's the difference, okay? That's the difference between the present tense, and the future tense. So let's look at these sentences. Ils auront, they will have the key to the house. They will have the key to the house. Look at the sentence and look at the spelling of avoir in the future tense for this particular pronoun il. Ils auront. Nous aurons. Nous aurons une conférence des professeurs l'année prochaine. We will have a teachers conference next year. And then sentence number 3, vous aurez un nouveau bébé. You will have a new baby. Okay, so this is how we conjugate avoir in the future tense. Our next verb is aller. That's the verb to go. The verb to go. I will go. J'irai. Tu iras. Il ira. Elle ira. Nous irons. Vous irez. Ils iront. And elles iront. This is how we conjugate aller in the future tense. You have the sentences, example of sentences on the side. Sentence number 1, j'irai à la piscine avec des amis. I will go to the swimming pool with some friends. I will go to the swimming pool with my friends. If you want to say I am going to the swimming pool, how do I say that in French, in the present tense? I am going. That would be je vais. Check your notes. You will see je vais. Je vais à la piscine. Okay? That is I am going to the swimming pool. That's present tense. Okay? That's present tense. I am going to the swimming pool. But now we are looking at future. I will go. This is j'irai. I will go. Now, sentence number 2. Il ira en France bientôt. Il ira en France bientôt. He will go to France very soon. He will go to France very soon. That's in the present tense. If you want to put it in the I mean that's in the future tense rather. If you want to put it in the future in the present tense, it will be il va en France. Il va en France. Check your notes. You will see the conjugation for present tense in your notes. And then the third sentence, tu iras. Tu iras au marché demain matin. Tu iras au marché demain matin. You will go to the market tomorrow morning. Now, we're going to be looking at other verbs aside from these three. We have looked at être, avoir, aller, and I have taken my time to go through these three verbs because their conjugation is somehow different from the main verb, from the infinitive verb. However, other verbs are not like this. Other verbs have they have a straightforward kind of conjugation for the verbs. So, how do we conjugate other verbs? Now, to conjugate the other verbs, all you need to do is add these endings, as you can see on your screen. For verbs, for the pronoun je, you add ai. For pronoun tu, you add as. For pronoun il and elle, you add a. For pronoun nous, you add ons. For vous, you add ez. For il and elle, you add ont. That is all. You just take the infinitive of the verb. Okay? Just take the infinitive of the verb and then just put these endings. Let's look at some of the examples that we have. Example number 1. Example number 1 is the verb manger. Look at this verb. This is the verb manger. This is the infinitive. M-A-N-G-E-R. That's the infinitive. That's a verb to eat. Okay? That's a verb to eat. And then how do we conjugate the verb to eat in the in the future tense? How do we conjugate the verb to eat in the future tense? This is how we conjugate it. You take the main verb without removing anything. It's an ER verb anyway. So without removing anything from the verb, you take the main verb and then you add the endings that we put earlier. AI, AS, A, ONS, EZ, ONT, and voila, you have your verb in the future tense. So just take the main verb without removing anything. Remember when we were conjugating our verbs in the present tense, we said you will take the main verb, you will remove er, and then you will add endings. Now in the future tense, you are taking the main verb without removing anything from the infinitive and then adding your ending. So you have je mangerai, tu mangeras, il mangera, nous mangerons, vous mangerez, ils mangeront. And this applies to virtually all the other verbs apart from the three that I conjugated earlier. So just once you identify the main verb, you just put your endings and you're good to go. Now let's look at the sentences. Example of sentences. Number one, je mangerai chaque matin à 8 heures exact. I eat every morning at 8 o'clock sharp. I eat every morning at 8 o'clock sharp. Number two, elles mangeront liam pilé avec la sauce de poulet. They will eat pounded yam with chicken sauce. Okay, and then number three, il mangera seul. He will eat alone. So that's examples of sentences. Let me give one other example before we round off. One other example. This is a verb voir, to see. Now I have chosen this verb voir, to see, because it follows the pattern of adding the endings ai, as, ons, ez, ont, but there's a slight difference in the formation of the main verb. We have changed the spelling of the main verb a little bit. The ending is still the same. What we have just changed is the root because of the peculiarity of the verb. So this is how we conjugate voir, to see. Je verrai, tu verras, il, elle ou on verra, nous verrons, vous verrez, ils verront, elles verront. I will see, you will see, on and on like that. So now let's come to the examples. Example number one. On se verra demain à 6 heures du soir. On se verra. Why have I used on? That you have on here. Il, elle, on. It's the same thing. He, she. Now, when we use on, we are using on when we don't want to specify the gender. You don't want to specify whether it is male or female. So that's why we use on. Virtually whenever we use on, that's why we use on, because you don't want to specify whether it is masculine or feminine. So that's why you have on se verra demain. On se verra demain à 6 heures. This means we will see. We will see tomorrow at 6 p.m. We will see tomorrow at 6 p.m. Okay? Number two sentence, vous verrez un film. Pardon me, this is supposed to be un film. Vous verrez un film intéressant aujourd'hui. You will see an interesting film today. You will see an interesting film today. So voila, this is how we conjugate our verbs in the future tense. Please go through this and please go through your notes. And if you have any question, pass your questions across to me via my mail and I will be on hand to answer your question. Please also try to attempt the exercises that you have underneath. Let me know what other questions you have. Merci beaucoup et bonne journée.